Good morning, students. Today we will discuss some examples based on principal curvatures, first and second curvature, and minimal surface. So, the first problem is find the value of two principal curvatures at a point of the surface of revolution having the position vector of any point given by the coordinates x is equal to u cos theta, y is equal to u sin theta, and z is equal to f of u. So we are to find two principal curvatures. Principal curvatures are the curvatures kappa A and kappa B. So in order to find them, firstly we will find the equation giving the principal curvatures, and in order to find that equation we will have to find all the fundamental coefficients E, F, G, L, M and N. Now the position vector of any point on the given surface is having the coordinates u cos theta, u sin theta and f of u. Here the parameters are u and theta. So we will use the suffix 1 for the partial derivatives with respect to parameter u and suffix 2 for the partial derivatives with respect to the parameter theta. Now let us find r1. r1 means the partial derivative of this vector with respect to parameter u. So derivative of u cos theta with respect to u, that is cos theta. Derivative of u sin theta with respect to u, that is sin theta. And derivative of f of u with respect to u we have denoted by f1u, because the partial derivatives with respect to u we have denoted by the suffix 1. Now r2 means partial derivative of vector r with respect to theta. Derivative of u cos theta is minus u sin theta. Derivative of u sin theta, that is u cos theta. This is not a function of theta, so its partial derivative with respect to theta, that will be 0. Now let us again differentiate the vector r1 partially with respect to the parameter u. Derivative of cos theta will be 0, derivative of sin theta will be 0, and its partial derivative with respect to u, that we have denoted by f11. Now let us find its partial derivative with respect to u. So its partial derivative with respect to u will be minus sin theta, u cos theta का derivative cos theta, and this will be 0. Now differentiating the vector r2 partially with respect to theta, the derivative of minus u sin theta will be minus u cos theta. Derivative of u cos theta is minus u sin theta, and third is 0. Now you can find the cross product of the vectors r1 and vector r2, and their cross product is having the components minus u cos theta into f1, second component minus u sin theta into f1, and third component is u. Now let us find the first fundamental magnitudes E, F and G. E is given by r1 dot r1, so that will be cos square theta plus sin square theta plus f1 square, so that will become 1 plus f1 square. Now let us find f, that is r1 dot r2, taking their dot products, cos theta into minus u sin theta plus sin theta into minus u into u cos theta, f1u into 0, so that will be 0. Now let us find g. G is the dot product of vector r2 with itself, r2 dot r2, that will be u square. Now let us find normal unit vector to the surface, which is given by r1 cross r2 divided by h. Substituting the value of r1 cross r2, we get the value of normal unit vector to the surface. Now let us find the second fundamental magnitudes L, M and N. By definition, L is the dot product of normal unit vector to the surface with the vector r11. Substituting the values here, we get the value of L. In the same way you can find the value of M, that will be 0, and N is the dot product of normal unit vector n with the vector r22, and this is u square f1 divided by h. Here h square is eg minus f square. Substituting the values of e, f and g here, h square becomes u square into 1 plus f1 square. Now to find the principal curvatures. Principal curvatures are the roots of the quadratic equation given by Eg minus f square into kappa n square minus En minus 2fm plus gl into kappa n plus ln minus m square is equal to 0. Now substituting the values of E, F, G, L, M and N in this equation, we get a quadratic equation which is given by u into 1 plus f1 square into kappa n square minus square root of 1 plus f1 square into f1 into 1 plus f1 square plus uf11 into kappa n plus f1 into f11 is equal to 0. This is quadratic equation in kappa n, and this is having two values of roots which will be denoted by kappa and kappa b, and that will be our required values. You can solve this quadratic equation by using the formula of discriminants. This is a, this is b, this is c. So the formula is minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. This is a, this term is b, this is c. So firstly minus b plus minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So after simplifying, you get two values of the roots. One is denoted by kappa a and second is denoted by kappa b. So simplifying, kappa a is obtained f11 divided by 1 plus f1 square whole raised to the power 3 by 2, and kappa b from here that will be 2f1 plus 2f1 cube divided by 2u into 1 plus f1 square whole raised to the power 3 by 2. From here we can take 2f1 common. Inside we are having 1 plus f1 square, that will be cancelled with 1 plus f1 square whole raised to the power 3 by 2. So we are left with only half power in the denominator. So kappa b becomes f1 upon u into 1 plus f1 square whole raised to the power 1 by 2. So these are the two values for the principal curvatures. If we are to find the principal radii of curvatures, then we can take their reciprocals. Its reciprocal, that will be generally denoted by rho 1, and that will be 1 plus f1 square raised to the power 3 by 2 divided by f11, and its reciprocal, that gives us second principal radius of curvature. So in the next question we will have to use the same result. So you will have to continue this question in the next problem. The next problem is, for the surface x is equal to u cos theta, y is equal to u sin theta, and z is equal to c into log of u plus square root of u square plus c square. We are to prove that rho 1 is equal to minus rho 2. It means we are to show that rho 1 plus rho 2 is equal to 0. Such kind of surface for which rho 1 plus rho 2 are 0, such a surface is called minimal surface. So this question can also be written in the another form, show that this surface is a minimal surface. So from here we have obtained the values of rho 1 and rho 2. Here the only difference is that in the previous problem we were given z is equal to f of u, and here the value of f of u is given c into log of u plus square root of u square plus c square. So this is u square minus c square. So let us substitute the values of f1, f11 and in the formulas for rho 1 and rho 2. So we will have to find f1. f1 means the derivative of this z with respect to u. So that will be from here, because z is given by c into log of u plus under root u square minus c square. So its derivative with respect to u, c is constant, the derivative of log of some function, that is 1 upon function into derivative of function. So after taking LCM here, this term will be cancelled with the term in numerator, and we get f1 is equal to c divided by square root of u square minus c square. Now again differentiating this term with respect to u, we get the derivative f11, that is minus cu into u square minus c square whole raised to the power 3 by 2. Now let us find 1 plus f1 square. So that will be 1 plus the square of this term. After simplification, that will be u square divided by u square minus c square. Now we can substitute these values in the formula for the principal radii of curvatures, which are rho 1 and rho 2, which we already obtained in the problem number 10. So this is rho 1 is given by 1 plus f1 square whole raised to the power 3 by 2 divided by f11. Now the value of 1 plus f1 square is u square upon u square minus c square. Substituting the value here, the value of this expression is this, and the value of f11, that is cu divided by u square minus c square whole raised to the power 3 by 2 with negative sign. So from here rho 1 is obtained minus u square by c, and rho 2 is u into 1 plus f1 square whole raised to the power 1 by 2 divided by f1. Substituting the values, we get the value of rho 2, which is u square by c. So rho 1 is equal to minus rho 2, and this also proves that the given surface is a minimal surface. In the next problem also, you are to show that the surface is minimal. So you will do this problem yourself. Now next problem is to show that the surface e raised to the power z into cos x is equal to cos y is a minimal surface. The condition for the minimal surface is that the mean curvature of the surface at all the points is 0. It means arithmetic mean of principal curvatures kappa a and kappa b, that should be 0. It means kappa a plus kappa b, that should be 0, and therefore we can say that the condition reduces to the form En minus 2fm plus gl is equal to 0. So you will have to verify this condition for the surface to be minimal. Now this surface is of the form of the Munk's form. So from here we can find the value of z by taking cos x on the right hand side in the denominator. This will become e raised to the power z is equal to cos y divided by cos x. Now taking log on both sides, this will become z. On the right side we get log of cos y minus log of cos x. Now this is of the form of Munk's form. Munk's form is the form z is equal to function of x and y. So the position vector of current point on this surface is having the components x, y and z. Z is given by log cos y minus log cos x. Now we can find the values of E, F, G, L, M and N. Here the parameters are x and y. So one will denote the partial derivatives with respect to x, and suffix 2 will denote partial derivatives with respect to y. So R1 will be the partial derivative of vector r with respect to x. The derivative of x will be 1. The partial derivative of y with respect to x will be 0, and derivative of z with respect to x. You can find derivative from here. Its partial derivative with respect to x. The derivative of this term will be 0, and derivative of this term, firstly due to log, that will be 1 by cos, and derivative of cos will be minus sign. So that will become tangent x. Now R2 means its partial derivative with respect to y. Derivative of x will be 0, derivative of y will be 1, and derivative of z with respect to y. From here, that will be derivative of log cos y. So that will be 1 by cos y into the derivative of cos y. So that will become minus tangent y. Now let us differentiate this vector partially with respect to x. Derivative of 1 will be 0. This is 0. Derivative of tangent x, that will be secant square x. Now let us find R12. Its partial derivative with respect to x, that will be 0, 0, 0. These are the components of this vector. Now let us find R22. Its partial derivative with respect to y. So derivative of 0 will be 0, derivative of 1 will be 0, derivative of minus tangent y, that will be minus secant square y. Now let us find E. E is R1 dot R1. So 1 square plus 0 square plus tangent square x. So that will become secant square x. Now let us find F. F means R1 dot R2. R1 dot R2, their dot products 1 into 0 plus 0 into 1 plus tangent x into minus tangent y. Next is Z. Z is R2 dot R2. So that will be 0 square plus 1 square plus the square of this term. So that will become secant square y. Now we can find R1 cross R2, that is having the components minus tangent x, tangent y and 1. Now find L, M, N in the same way as we find by using the formulas. L is equal to N dot R11, M is equal to N dot R12 and N is equal to N dot R22, and you will substitute all these values in the condition for the surface to be minimal. As we already discussed, the condition for a surface to be minimal is that En plus Gl minus 2 times Fm, that should be 0. So we can substitute all the 6 values E, F, G, L, M, N. When we substitute the values, these two terms, they are cancelled out with each other. So En plus Gl minus 2 Fm, that will become 0, and therefore we can say that the given surface is a minimal surface. Now let us see one more problem based on first and second curvatures. First curvature means the sum of principal curvatures kappa A and kappa B. Second curvature means the product of principal curvatures kappa A and kappa B. So the problem is find the first and second curvatures for the helicoid having the equation x is equal to u cos v, y is equal to u sin v, z is equal to f of u plus cv, and show that later is constant. Later means second curvature, that is constant along a helix, u is equal to constant. So firstly we will have to find all the 6 fundamental magnitudes E, F, G, L, M, N. Now the position vector of the point R on the given helicoid is having the components u cos v, u sin v, f of u plus cv. Partial derivative with respect to u, that is denoted by 1 suffix in the base, and partial derivative with respect to v is denoted by suffix 2 in the base. Now its partial derivatives with respect to u, that is cos v, sin v. Its partial derivative with respect to u we have denoted by f1. Cv partial derivative with respect to u, that will be 0. Now partial derivative with respect to v. From here the derivative of cos v is minus sin v, derivative of sin v, that is cos v, derivative of this term with respect to v will be 0, derivative of cv, that is c. Now differentiating this term with respect to u, its derivative will be 0, its derivative will be 0, and the derivative of f1 with respect to u, that is f11. Now let us find R12. Its partial derivative with respect to u, that will be minus sin v, cos v and 0. Now let us find R22, means the partial derivative of vector R2 with respect to v. So derivative of this term is minus u cos v, derivative of u cos v is minus u sin v, derivative of c, that is 0. Now we can substitute these values in the formulas to find E, F, G, and then we will find the normal unit vector to the given surface, which is R1 cross R2 divided by H, and by using this normal unit vector we find the values of L, M, and N. So you can substitute these values to find the first curvature and second curvature. First curvature is the sum of kappa A and kappa B. Kappa A and kappa B are principal curvatures at the point. So substituting the values, kappa A plus kappa B we already discussed. This is given by the formula En plus Gl minus 2Fm divided by H square. You can substitute all the 6 values E, F, G, L, M, N in this formula to get first curvature. And the second curvature, which is the product of principal curvatures kappa A and kappa B. Second curvature, that is also called Gaussian curvature, and this is given by Ln minus m square divided by h square. Again substituting the values of L, M, N and H here, we get the second curvature also. Now we are to show that the second curvature is constant along the helix, u is equal to constant. Now here we can see that this second curvature is a function of u only, and if u is constant, this curvature will also be constant, and thus we have proved that the second curvature is constant along the helix, u is equal to constant.